Well, hey there guys. So today, as Josh and I go on our daily walk slash jog, run, whatever we decide on doing, today will be a walk. We decided to make a pod vlog, and so as we walk, I'm just going to show you guys the scenery as opposed to, you know, recording ourselves the whole time, because then, you know, it won't be as mind-bogglingly difficult to watch. Yeah. Don't have to look at our beautiful faces.
That's right, ladies. We're single.
Yeah. Speaking of which, actually, that's yeah, run. That's part of the subject of this video, is that a subscriber actually asked me how to make friends and potentially get like a girlfriend, and so that will be the topic of our discussion as we walk along here.
Okay.
But first, I can't even see it here. Okay, whatever. I have to get this started. I'm using this app called Runkeeper, where, you know, I track my daily runs, and we're just gonna, you want to start?
Sure.
Let's do it. Go running.
All right, kid, pull your pants up, tie your shoes. Activity started. You're doing a great job. You're making your mom and dad proud.
So there are these own like customized kind of voices that you can set in this app, which is kind of cool. And there's maybe, how many, like 6 or something?
I think there's like 12.
Oh, there's that many?
I mean, I wasn't really paying attention.
Oh. Well, however many there are, I'm sure there's more than 6, probably closer to what Josh said. But it's kind of a cool feature, because as you know, come to the increments throughout your run by which, you know, you hit certain distances or certain times, like 5-minute increments or whatever, or like half a mile increments, it will let you know, and it'll tell you what your average pace is, your time, and all that. And you guys will probably hear it as we go along. But anyways, we plan on just going about a mile, so we're gonna go a half a mile out and then come back. All right, so yeah. So first, let's talk about making friends, I guess. So for me personally, I mean, I've always been kind of like an introvert, and just like, I don't know, I find myself, you know, not always opening myself up so easily to people. I mean, I do, but it's harder to kind of reassure myself that the person I'm opening up to is going to be, you know, reasonable for me to hang out with all the time or to commit myself to. That's the thing, is that commitment is a difficult thing for me. But anyways, let's just get to basics here, not focus on myself so much. I'd say in making friends, it's really as simple as being open and listening to the person you want to potentially be friends with, and asking them a lot of questions, learning about, you know, who they are. But at the same time, you know, now I don't want you guys to overcomplicate anything like this, but at the same time, what I like to keep in mind is that people need their space. So you know, if you see any signs of them like feeling as if you're taking up time that they'd rather be spending by themselves or with someone else, then just back off and, you know, play it cool. That's all you got to do. Now, another thing that I noticed, just like one simple kind of tip to this whole process, is that, I guess it's not so simple, but if you could find something that you both mutually dislike. I found that a lot of people have said, and I guess this is pretty true because I do it myself, is that when you complain about something with a friend of yours, your relationship, your ties with each other kind of strengthens, because there's a level of trust and I don't know, just like mutual agreement that you guys get into, and it I guess it feels good for a relationship to be strengthened in that sense, that you both agreeably dislike something. I don't know. You can even talk about YouTubers you dislike. Definitely wouldn't be Harry Hour though, because I mean, who are we kidding, Josh? I mean, I'm the best YouTuber out there, right?
C tier.
So I guess we're just gonna remain silent for the rest of the walk then?
Absolutely, you know, I hate you and everything you do.
5 minutes. Distance 0.19 miles.
1.9.
0.8 seconds per mile. Is that all you've got?
Wait, which voice is this?
That's the one that's like my conscience. It sounds like a,
Oh, yeah.
that's the one that sounds like a discount All Might.
Yeah, that's the one I didn't try, yeah.
Yeah, do you see what I mean now though?
Yeah, it does. With his deep voice, and he's kind of, you know,
A
a little less energetic than the actual All Might. But yeah, he's like the discount All Might. So, before we get on to the whole topic of getting a girlfriend, Josh, do you have any say on the matter of making friends?
Well, for me, I've been an introvert most of my life, so
You and me both, yo.
So, you know, I've opened up more, I want to say.
Yeah. Yeah, you have a lot of friends, like a lot of close friends.
Yeah.
You hang out with them, and it's pretty cool, you know?
Yeah, largely speaking, making friends is all about finding, and I know everyone says this, but a lot of the times it's about finding common interests. Like a lot of the friends that I had throughout high school, I met through the anime club, which I was a part of.
Yeah, that's a good point. Like I mentioned how
mutual
dislikes is great, but it's
like,
better to have mutual interests.
I mean, like you
in
can
the
still
long
build,
run.
You can, like, a foundation can still be built off of things like dislike.
Right, but if you want to have a healthy relationship with a friend,
yeah, like
it's
you don't
probably
want,
better to
you don't want
have
just,
more likes than dislikes that you mutually agree with.
Unless you just want to have like a friend that you can dish to. I definitely think that it's important. It's always important.
And again, just
if
be
you're
open
trying
to the person.
Well, if you're trying to make friends, it's always important to remember, like you said, that people have lives outside of you.
Right.
So if a friend doesn't respond to you, to a text from you immediately, or even for a few hours, it may not necessarily be because they don't want to talk to you. It could be because they
have a life,
or because like something unforeseen happened that you don't know about. So like, and if you're trying to be a good friend, don't
pester them.
Don't message someone every day. Like,
yeah, that's another thing. That's a big part of what I was going to get into when it comes to getting a girlfriend, or I mean, maybe the same goes for getting a boyfriend. But
I mean, I always thought that like relationships are relationships. Doesn't matter what the gender is.
Well, yeah, and that's the thing. Exactly. That's the way you should think about it, is that if you were to have a girlfriend, she's probably going to have to be like basically one of your best friends, if not your best friend. And you have to treat her as such, because, you know, I mean, I feel like treating, it's nice to treat girls, you know, in, I guess, a more traditional sense where, you know, you get dinner with each other, you pay for most of the things and stuff like that, have your chivalrous nature about you, but at the same time, you know, to communicate and understand each other on a deeper level, I think is more important. You got something stuck in your boot?
Yeah, stick. Because I was like that's not supposed to be painful.
And another thing is that with communication, so, I mean, in this day and age, you know, texting is a big thing. So I would argue that, just as Josh said, to text every day would be overkill. And, you know, again, just like with your friends, giving your potential, you know, girlfriend or current girlfriend some space is ideal, because everyone needs...
miles. Average pace, 23 minutes, 56 seconds per mile. Someone's been training hard.
Wow, thanks. Yeah, again, wait. It was the conscience that said that you ran like a hippopotamus.
Yeah,
But don't worry, they're fast.
We'll probably hear that line before the end of this trip.
Or like a bear out of hibernation.
Well, that was what he said when I first started. It's
Oh,
like, activity started. You're running like a bear that just came out of hibernation.
wait. So that's the thing, is that I don't know if it has like all these sound bites based on your pace, you know, and
Yeah,
like
I mean, I don't know.
how they differentiate it. But
Is it normal for my foot to feel numb while I'm doing this? Because it is.
well, do you have any like numbing medicine or something that?
No.
Maybe it's numb because your boot is constricting it a lot or something.
Maybe.
I don't know. I don't really know much about it. Don't take my word.
But
yeah, so like you know, beyond those points, Josh, what do you think?
well,
When
I mean, I've never really had, like, I've only ever really had a girlfriend once,
Yeah.
and it was only for like 2 weeks.
And she was a crazy person,
Well,
right?
she wasn't crazy.
Or just like clingy.
It's just like she and it's my fault, really.
Or no, she rushed it, right?
Well, a lot of it's my fault because, like, when she asked me out, it was late at night,
Yeah.
and I was tired from work. I wasn't really thinking straight, and I was just like, yeah, why not?
Yeah.
And like, I didn't really take her feelings into account. I was just like kind of a yeah, sure thing.
Right.
When that's not really the attitude you should have towards dating. I mean,
sometimes it's good to have like a casual kind of thought
yeah.
process about it, but it's understandable because like some people take it very seriously.
But and I
Here,
mean,
let's
like,
turn around because we hit the halfway mark.
and I mean, she
Oh God, I
she
zoomed
told
in.
me, you know, she told me that she loved me, and it like 2 weeks in, and I realized,
Yeah, see, like, that's crazy.
yeah, and I realized that I don't. And like, she kept talking about like, oh, how she wanted me to meet her family, like her extended family, and how she wanted to tell everybody we were dating.
Yeah.
I mean, on one hand, it's nice to have somebody that, you know, who cares that much about you being in their life. But on the other hand, if you don't feel the same way,
It becomes an awkward
it's like
situation that's
yeah,
hard
and
to get out of.
And it's even worse because the person I dated, she had been in bad relationships all throughout high school and seemingly
And
college too.
yeah.
And she had been on the receiving end of breakups, like,
Right, so maybe she thought that this would be her break of
yeah,
sorts.
and like,
Yeah, it's
and,
hard.
like,
It's
I-
hard to reject people, just
and,
as
like,
it's hard to
I even wanted,
receive it.
I even considered doing the whole sitcom thing and like consider trying to act like a jerk in order to get her to break up with me. But
Yeah.
I just thought in the end it's better to be honest. So I just told her that I didn't feel the same way.
Yeah, tell her straight up. That's the
Yeah.
thing, is that when I'm really low on battery, so I might have to cut it off. But
But I mean,
here,
like,
I'll let you finish it off.
ultimately, and I mean, I'm not the best authority on this, obviously, but the main thing about relationships is you have to be you have to be mature enough to be a part of, to be a good part of someone else's life.
Yep.
You have to.
Right, you have to understand yourself. You have to be.
You have to be good enough for someone else. You have to.
That's the thing.
Well, you have to be the best possible version of yourself.
Exactly. I mean, that's the thing. You know, people try to seek out help from others as far as, you know, trying to gain something, trying to find themselves through other people, and it's whoa. Wow, it's like simultaneous.
Miles. Average pace 24 minutes. 59
But
per mile.
that's not the way to be, you know. You gotta first just smiling upon you. I love that. That's the thing. You gotta figure yourself out. You gotta be you know, on that level of maturity, like Josh said, to first understand who you are and then figure out the rest. You know,
You have to.
you want to rely on yourself before you rely or try to consider relying on others in any other form. That's how I think of it. I don't know.
Well, you have to recognize that you're good enough. You have to recognize that you're a good.
You
enough
have to be proud of
influence.
yourself, right?
You have to. It's hard to explain and put into words, especially because we're on a time limit because you're running out of battery.
Yeah.
But ultimately, you have to look at yourself and realize that, you know, with you in their life or them in your life, it makes things better.
Yep.
And if you both like each other, if you both make each other feel better, make each other feel good, then that's the.
You can only go forward from there.
That's the foundation of a healthy friendship or something more.
Indeed, indeed.
I don't know.
And that's the thing, guys. If you want to get a girlfriend or you want to, you know, get into a more serious relationship with the gender that you are attracted to, it's best to understand ultimately that I think you need to be friends with the person first. You need to understand them again on that deeper level before you can take it further. Otherwise, you're just gonna get, you know, shallow individuals who like one night stands above all else.
That being
when
said,
it comes to such things.
That being said, it's important that if you're gonna be friends with any guy or any girl, you shouldn't go into it expecting to like
Fix yourself.
Well, that, and you shouldn't expect to have to fix anybody else, and you shouldn't expect, oh yeah, one day this is gonna lead to us being boyfriend and girlfriend.
Yeah.
At the end of the day,
just be cool.
At the end of the day,
just be cool. That's the message.
Just be cool.
Just be cool, dog.
But yeah, like
all right, final words.
Just remember to take a step back and breathe. And
that'll be our closing words, guys. Hope you enjoyed. Before my battery runs out, peace.